England absolutely swept Australia away. They won by 8 wickets. And they were chasing a very small total, 126 to win. They got there in 11.4 overs, 50 balls to spare, with a remarkable innings from Jos Butler. Really, absolutely at his most destructive. 71 not out from 32 balls. We'll get it all broken down for you shortly by Andy Zoltzman, but basically hit 5 sixes and 5 fours. But in terms of breaking down that innings and when he scored and so on, it was incredible. He and Jason Roy broke the back of that small target, 66 they put on. For Roy was LBW to Zampa for 22 from 20 balls. Malan made 8, Nick one behind off Zampa, and then Johnny Bairstow helped finish things off with 16 not out. Well, it all obviously went wrong for Australia. In their batting, they were put into bat, no real surprise there. In these evening games in Dubai, the ball can get a bit dewy and so on, but they're put in. Warner was out in the second over for 1. That was 7 for 1. Smith out for 1. Very well caught by Woakes, who took the wicket of Warner, running back and taking a catch high one-handed over his head. That was off the bowling of Jordan for 1. So 8 for 2. An alarm bell starting to ring because Australia had made a change. They left out Marsh and brought in Agar. So an extra bowler, and perhaps leaving that batting a little lighter than usual at least. Maxwell 6. It was LBW to Woakes. That was 15 for 3 in the fourth, 21 for 4 when Stoinis was LBW to Rashid for 0. Then a bit of a stand between Wade and Finch, the opening batsman, who was still going. Wade made 18, for he was caught by Roy at long on off Livingston. That was 51 for 5 in the 12th. 6 down when Agar again made a useful 20 along with Finch, but he was caught by Livingston off Timor Mills for 20. That was 98 for 6. Finally, Finch was out, caught by Bairstow off Jordan for 44 from 49 balls. That was 110 for 7. Cummins came in looking rather cross, hit 2 sixes off the 2 balls he faced before he was dismissed, and Stark made 13. Zampa was run out for 1. So bowling wise, it's remarkable really, because we've talked a lot about Moeen Ali's bowling in this tournament so far. We didn't bowl a ball today. Adil Rashid opened instead and took 1 for 19 from his 4. Chris Woakes, a lovely opening spell. He took 2 for 23. He took 2 for 3, I think, about saying his first 3 overs. Got a bit of tap at the end for 4 overs. Jordan 4 overs and took 3 for 17. Liam Livingstone, interesting. His bowling options definitely coming in here now. And he's on the line. Liam, I was just praising your bowling. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well, thank you.
Good man. Well, you tuned in at an opportune time, because I was just saying, what useful bowling options you're providing there middle in the innings at the moment. Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's something I've worked really hard on over the last couple of years, and more so coming into this tournament. I knew that if I was a really good option, then it probably balances the team a little bit better. So it's something I've worked really hard on, and I've been doing a lot of work with Jeets and the nets, and thankfully it's coming out pretty good at the moment. Hopefully that continues.
Yeah, tell me what you're bowling exactly, because there's some leggies, there's some offies in there as well.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spin the ball away from the bat. So to right-handers, try and bowl leg spin, try and bowl off spin to the left-handers. Just try and be a bit unpredictable. And yeah, just try and keep the ball spinning away. When we know as batters, it's always a little bit more difficult. I think Josh might say different after the way he struck it today,
well,
but
yes.
With the ball spinning away, you always feel a little bit more in the game. So yeah, it's something I've worked really hard on, and thankfully the rewards are coming in the games.
Well, they certainly are, and you're giving him plenty of options, but what a performance that is today. You know, we've always sitting here building it up, obviously, England, Australia, big game, top 2 in the table. Well, they've just been absolutely hammered.
Yeah, it's a great performance. I think our bowlers have been really good throughout. I think our new ball bowlers have been phenomenal the whole way through the tournament. And we know that power play wickets kill teams as the innings go on. And I think we've seen pretty much a masterclass of T20 batting from Josh there as well. So yeah, it's nice. It's obviously great to put in a performance like that, and hopefully we can sort of build this momentum and keep it building through the end of the group stages and hopefully into the qualifiers. Yeah.
Was it always a plan that Rashid would open the bowling today? We've been talking a lot about Moeen, obviously, who's opened in the last 2 games and done very well, but didn't bowl a ball today. I mean, was that a plan, or was that just the way that the game evolved?
No, I think Mo's obviously been phenomenal for us in the power play over the last couple of games, but they were very right-handed heavy, so we knew that my leg spin and Rash was going to be a little bit more effective than what Mo's off spin was going to be today. So I think that's a nice part of the sort of options that we've got is we've always got options to spin the ball away from the bat, and we've done pretty well. Mo hasn't even bowled a ball today, and he's probably been one of our best bowlers in the last 2 games. So it's really nice. We've got some great options. Our seamers are bowling really well. Our top order players are playing some really good cricket. So long may it continue.
I don't suppose Mona would be too upset with a result like that. Go on then. You mentioned Butler, but we were talking here about he just looks so focused. He's just like a sort of an assassin. There's not much smiling. He just whacks the ball and it still looks very focused with his face. Not much emotion there and so on. But he had a big smile when he walked off. But I mean, to sit and watch that innings live must have been fantastic.
It was, and I think it was pretty much as clinical as it could have been. And we know fine well he's one of the best players in the world, and we've got so many world-class players in our lineup that we go out and play with so much freedom because of the players that we've got to come in. So, but yeah, like you said, the way Josh played today was pretty phenomenal. He's probably one of the best, if not the best hitter of a white cricket ball in the world. So, it was a clinic today from him, and hopefully he can continue that form right the way through the tournament.
So 3 games done. They've all been sort of similar-ish, really. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. You can go back to the dressing room without stupid Agnew asking me the most ridiculous question of all time. But do you want to be challenged? I mean, do you want to be in a position where actually you are a bit under pressure and get over the line in a tight game to really prepare yourself for a semi-final? Or are you just going to say, oh, for goodness sake, don't talk nonsense, we're just beating everything that comes at the moment?
I would love every game to go like the last 3 have, to be honest, right the way through to the end of the tournament. But we'll just keep taking it game by game. We're playing some really good cricket. There's a lot of confidence in the camp. And like I said, we've got a big game Monday. Hopefully we can put in another good performance there. And then we won't look too far ahead. There's a long way to go in the tournament yet.
Good. Thank you, Liam. Thanks for talking, because you look as if you're all enjoying yourselves, by the way.
Pleasure. Yeah, we're having some good fun, that is for sure.
Okay, good man. Well played today. Thank you, Liam.
Thank you.
Liam Livingston, 1 for 15 today, wasn't required with the bat. Was it too stupid a question? I don't know. I mean, you just want to win, don't you? Of course you do. But just to know that you've been in a tight situation and you've come through it under pressure. I mean, does that count for much?
On one hand, yes, you want to be challenged. You want to be taken to a position where you feel like you've got to dig deep and find a way to win. But I'm with Liam. If you're going to win games of cricket and you want to win a tournament, you want to win every game like that.
Yes.
And continue to win like that, because it takes the stress out of it. You do enjoy it more. Confidence just keeps growing and growing. And I don't think England's confidence can get any higher the way they played the first 3 games. But yeah, there will be a time where they will get challenged. But
and that's all the lower order who haven't really picked a bat up.
No, but they're still hitting balls at practice.
Yeah.
And, they're still getting put through those scenarios. So by the time they get out there, it shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah. What do you reckon of that today, Liam? I mean, it's just going from strength to strength.
Yeah, I think you could roll that performance up and put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
You'd have to put that wherever you went in the world. But what you were talking about earlier, sometimes even if you don't bat, which when I played I didn't really bat too much because the guys are so strong, you still feed off their confidence and the performances, what they're doing, and you practice so much. You get, as a guy who batted low down in the order, there's so much practice, so many balls get thrown at you, so you always feel like you're in decent touch. But I'll be happy with them guys going out and knocking it 3-4 down every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you are. But you were one of those who was expected lower down the order to go out and hit sixes, really, weren't you? That was your role, which again is you've got to feel in a bit to do that.
I think it comes with the practice as well. If you're just going to go in there and practice blocking a few balls, can you put yourself under pressure in practice? Can you go in and have 3 or 4 balls where you try and hit the ball out the park and maybe step out the net for 5-10 minutes and go back in and do the same? So just get used to that momentum. Right, I have to go from ball 1. So maybe the guys are doing practice like that, as well as hitting plenty of balls and getting themselves the best chance when they do go in to clear the rope.
What do they do about Mark Wood now? They're sort of getting deeper into the tournament. He hasn't played, and he's got this bit of an ankle issue. And Jamal Mills is doing a good job. I mean, if everyone stays fit, what would you do with Wood? And I mean, are you looking ahead? Because he's the only fast bowler really that England are taking to Australia. I mean, genuinely quick.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you get to a stage where you make a decision about someone like that? You've got someone in rhythm who's playing and doing a good job.
I think it's a great opportunity for him to play the next game if he's fit. The way the guys are going, maybe someone drops out, not from bad performances, but Woody's excellent, and before it started he picked up good wickets in the warm-up game, looked really well. And that's if he's fully fit. If he can come in fully fit and perform and feel good about it, then let him play. But if he's still feeling a little bit, then give him a bit of a rest and see how he goes further in the competition, because I guess the selectors will be keeping an eye out for the Ashes coming ahead.
Yes. What would you be doing with Mark?
Well, I was listening to Owen Morgan earlier today, and he just said, while he's got a fitness issue, they're not going to risk him because he is a valuable commodity for England. He's fast. He's something different. He's that X factor. I'd like to see him bowl in Sharjah, where the ball doesn't bounce. He's a smaller bloke, but fast and skiddy back of a length. Whew, it'd be hard to hit there. Maybe there's an opportunity to do that later in the tournament, as Liam said. At the moment, I wouldn't be changing my team.
No.
I'd back them to get the job done.
Yeah, absolutely. Just take that rhythm on. We'll be hearing from Owen Morgan soon enough, and also Aaron Finch. I just wonder what that does to Australia's hopes. I mean, they're still there. They're still in there. I mean, these groups, things can change pretty quickly. We think that if England win one more, then that surely should see them through. But that will have dented Australia a bit today.
Yeah, it would. You know, and they'd be disappointed sitting in the dressing room now. They go, right, okay, what do we need to do? How do we need to improve to going forward? I don't think they'll dwell on it too much. England were just far too good. So wipe it out of your mind. Get back to the hotel, have a think, sit down, have a chat, and then start your day again tomorrow, whether it be practice or whatever they're doing tomorrow, and then come back in the next game and execute better. That's all it was. Just execution under pressure wasn't there. England's was outstanding.
Just looking at the bowling figures, they're horrible. But I suppose they're inclined to be a small target, and you're looking for wickets, aren't you? I mean,
they all got butlered, mate.
Yeah, they did. Stark 3 overs for 37, Hazelwood 2 overs for 18, Cummins 1 over for 14. Agar actually, didn't bowl too badly. 2.4 overs, he took 1 for 15. Zampa went for 12 and over at 3 overs, 1 for 37 as well. But in that match scenario, you've got a small target, you come out and blaze it. That's going to be that. Well, Chris Jordan has been named as the man of the match. Just looking at his bowling figures, he took 3 for 17. Butler didn't play too badly. You balance these things up. I mean, I don't know about these man of the matches. They're a bit of a lottery sometimes, but he did bowl very well. That beautiful Yorker that saw off Pat Cummins. And he's been talking to Simon Doull.
Congratulations. How did that feel out there for you?
Yeah, thank you. No, it was obviously a great bowling effort from the boys again. We were just trying to back up what we've done in the first couple of games. And again, the way Woxie and today Rash set the tone, really allowed us to come in and just continue that momentum. So yeah, grateful.
What are the keys for you in these types of conditions?
We're just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Try and go with the rhythm of the game, trying to assess the pitch and see what can work on the day. And today, obviously, we tried to hold our length as much as possible and be nice and straight. And obviously, it paid off today. So, and then obviously the way the boys batted there was unbelievable.
Still got those Yorkers in your bank, though. How hard are you working on those still?
Yeah, every day. Obviously, you just try to stick to your strengths as much as possible and keep improving them while still trying to add a little bit to your game as well.
One of the senior members of this bowling group, how comfortable are you in this team at the moment?
I don't think you're ever comfortable in international cricket, especially when there's so many players trying to obviously make the team and what's not. But every day you just try to keep working hard, keep trying to improve, and just keep trying to put in good performances for the team. Let everything else take care of itself.
Outstanding performance tonight, Chris. Well done.
Cheers. Thank you.
There we go. Well bowled indeed. Chris Jordan. I'm looking at Aaron Finch actually taking his chair in the press conference. It's not been Australia's day because they had a false start to their national anthem. He's got a chair there. It's very wonky, and he can hardly sit up in it. So it's not really been their day today. Let's talk about Jos Butler's innings. I mean, it was extraordinary. I don't know, how you do bowl to someone like that. I mean, you have all these plans and you look at videos and actually you're better off not looking, aren't you? I mean, it just hits anything.
And even like Adam Zampa even tried the wide line outside the wide line. He still managed to get bat on it for 2 over cover. And, sometimes you got to take your hat off and say, this guy's just having a day out. And Joss has a day out more often than most. But when he has a proper day out like today, it's great to watch.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Give us an insight into bowling at him, Liam. I mean... Yeah, we talked about this sort of lack of backlift and just this incredibly strong punch that he has. I mean, that ball must come fly back at you a bit, doesn't it? I mean, not surprisingly, umpires wear protective gear these days, or some of them.
Yeah, it is tricky because, as Stewie says, when he has a day out, he has a day out. He's hard to bowl at. If he's hitting your best ball back over your head or even your best ball getting off strike and making that look easy, it is tricky. But in practice, you try and bowl your best ball, and hopefully you might miss one or might spoon one up in the air, and someone grabs it in the outfield. But that's why these guys get paid the big money, right? They're so good and they're so consistent.
Two match winners. Go on then, let's have a field day from Andy Zaltzman, because I feel one coming on here.
Well, yes, it was one of England's biggest wins. They're certainly their biggest against Australia in terms of games when they've chased in T20. 50 balls left, the third most balls England have had left at the end of a successful chase, and 3 of their biggest 6 wins by that measure have been in the 3 games this tournament. It's also the most balls left when Australia have lost, having batted first at Josh Butler's extraordinary innings. 10 from the first 11 balls he faced, followed by 60 of 20, the third most runs scored by a T20 international batsman in a 20-ball spell. I've got more. I think we've got an interview coming up. Do you want the stats now, or do you want to
come on? It's a stats avalanche.
England's bowling has been superb in this tournament. They were the most expensive team in terms of runs per over in between the last World Cup and this one, also the fastest scoring batting team, but they've gone at less than 6 and over in this tournament. And in power plays, they've taken 10 wickets in the 3 power plays for just 79 runs, going at under 4.5 and over. Batting, they've gone over 8.5 and over, scored 155 runs for just 4 wickets. So bowling power plays in between the 2 World Cups, they basically averaged 50 bowling for 1.5 wickets, and in this tournament they've averaged 26 for 3 1/3. Agaz, I know you treasured your thirds of wickets.
I like my thirds. Let's hear for the captains, shall we? Simon Doull, first of all, speaking to Aaron Finch.
Aaron Finch alongside me. Aaron, these ones are always tough. Just your thoughts on the batting innings for a start. You were out there for a long time.
Yeah, I thought when we lost a few wickets in the power play, we just had to try and hang in there and give ourselves a chance to get to 150, somewhere around there. If we try and go harder early, you could get 80. So that's what it was all about, trying to just hang in for a bit longer, get to a total that we thought would be defendable if a few things went our way, and if we got it really right with the ball.
How tough was it?
I just seamed around a little bit. Chris Wokes is a brilliant exponent. When there's some seam there early on, that they all bowled well, and they put us on the back foot early. That's why they've been best in the world for a while.
It's hard to sort of chastise the bowlers too much as well when you haven't really got enough runs on the board. They go searching at times like that.
Yeah, you have to. We had to bowl them out. We knew that. There's no issues there. I thought Josh Butler played a hell of an innings, put the pressure on. So it's just one of those nights where we got off to a poor start and they just kept compounding, unfortunately. They
come thick and fast, so you have to put it behind you fairly quickly as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple of days off to recharge now. It'll be important. Some guys probably deserve a little bit of rest as well. So it's okay. We'll dust ourselves off and take on Bangladesh next.
All right, Aaron. Thanks for your time,
mate.
I like
Cheers.
tonight. Time to bring Owen Morgan, the skipper of England, in now. Owen, thanks for your time. How's that one feel?
Yeah, pretty good. We've obviously got off to a good start with the first 2 games that we played of this tournament. Challenge for us is always adapting to conditions away from home. Thought we did that really well in the first 2 games, and then again today, the big test against a really strong Australian side. We sort of held up pretty well right from the beginning, holding our nerve at the ball, creating opportunities, and then continuing to strive and be relentless with the lengths that we bowl and the plans that we're trying to execute. So I thought the bowlers again came up trumps. They were really good again today.
How important for you to have all those resources, because you left Mo and Ali just sort of as a field tonight?
Yeah, here I think, depending on how the wicket plays, I think you have to have either 1 or 2 guys to go to. I think we're very lucky in the fact that we do have a couple of all-rounders within our side. And again, they managed to come up trumps again today.
The batting side of things, obviously when you're chasing a small total, you can have little hiccups, but the 2 openers are again looking good.
Yeah, they look in really good form. Jason Roy in the last game against Bangladesh, man of the match performance, and then again today coming out with the intent. Josh Butler following suit and then kicking on from there. 2 really imposing players. Really did set up the chase and made it quite comfortable in the end.
Do you need a hard one at some stage, or how are you feeling about that?
Nah, here they're all hard ones, Dooley. We try and we treat everybody with the same amount of respect. It's a really tough competition, and we're looking forward to continuing to challenge ourselves moving forward. We go from here to Sharjah. We play 2 games in the space of 5 days. So again, another challenge within that. So yeah, one we're looking forward to.
All right, well done tonight. Congratulations. Well played, England.
Thanks, Dooley.
There we go. At least Simon Dool asked the same question as I did, although he phrased it slightly differently, which is necessarily a way that I'd have chosen. But there we go. So, England, top of the table. They're playing Sri Lanka on Monday in Sharjah, as Owen Morgan was saying there. This pitch there looking a little bit slow, a little bit low, a little more tired. Well, today South Africa just got over the line against Sri Lanka. They seem to be coasting home. 112 for 6 in the 18th over. They're only chasing 143 to win. Then wickets fell. They had 15 off the last over to win it, and David Miller hit a couple of sixes and got them over with 1 ball to spare. So in fact, England do play Sri Lanka on Monday, and then it is South Africa on Saturday. If they beat Sri Lanka, then one imagines they'll be through to the semi-finals. What do you make of that game today? That was nip and tuck, but but different conditions, aren't they? That pitch definitely looking more tired.
Yeah, and that's a good thing about this tournament. Each pitch has got its own characteristics. Where Sharjah, low, slow, bit of turn. Dubai seems to be the best wicket to bat on. That comes, apart from Australia, comes onto the bat nicely, and we saw, Josh Butler made that, statement true. The game before Australia played Sri Lanka was a good pitch. Abu Dhabi probably not quite as fast, bigger boundaries, small, not as big a totals, but bigger ground to defend. So, with England playing Sri Lanka in Sharjah, good contest. This could be the game that tests England a bit further down their batting order. Sri Lanka got some good spinners. They got some quality pace bowlers we saw today, and that could put them under a bit more pressure.
Yeah, that could be a challenging game. I mean, if England get through that and get through the trial of spin, just say they're chasing batting last and win, that would be a fillip.
Yeah, it would. I mean, obviously, from the last World Cup, Sri Lanka put a dent in England's hopes there, right? So, it's going to be a tough game, and as you guys said, that wicket is completely different. It feels like a different place entirely. So, the game yesterday was tricky to score runs, tricky to get in, watching the West Indies guys bat, and we know how well them guys strike it. But yeah, if England can get a win there, it'll give them that confidence that they can play in each of the conditions out in the UAE. Yeah,
and Sri Lanka... The threat, if you like. Nissanka played really well today. We've got some hitters in there as well.
Yep.
But they have got that very balanced attack.
Yeah, I like the little number 3 too, Asalanka. He comes in and gives it a whack. A left-hander, likes the pace. But their bowling attack is pretty good. Kumara, again today, probably let them down. Didn't bowl well against Australia the other day. Today, first 3 overs, he looked the part, none for 17, and then... last over, he gets belted for 2 sixes in a row to lose the game, which is unfortunate on the young man. But, they've still got options up their sleeve. They've still got tall left armour. I forget his name at the moment. Escapes me. He played the first game. He could come in. He bowls changes of pace, but he's about 6'6" or 6'8" or something. So he could come in for Kumara just to change it up a bit.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, there we all. You've enjoyed today, Liam. I mean, just any thoughts about? I mean, England. Were they favourites going into this tournament? I know people talked about a year ago them going favourites, but there's no Ben Stokes, no Jofra Archer. Playing on these pitches, perhaps they weren't necessarily the absolute favourites going in, but where do you think England are now?
I think they're right up there. I think it's easy to sit on the fence, but they're right up there with Pakistan, and obviously India haven't started well, but they're always going to come through.
They've only played one game, and that group's very slow going. Yeah.
But they've got to be confident. I think when you're coming over to the UAE on the spinning wicket, it could be any team's tournament, I guess, because the teams like Sri Lanka and Afghanistan can upset anyone on the big teams there with the spinners they've got and the way the wickets are turning. But England got to be happy with the way they've started, and they should back themselves to win the tournament. They've got guys in that team who've played around the world and in every single condition, so they should be happy with where they're at right now.
So last thought, what's the word we associate with South Africans in World Cup?
A joke.
They didn't today, did they?
No, they didn't. They
15,
didn't. They came through.
15 to win. They're second in that table now, and they got him in that last over.
Yeah, and the man on strike, David Miller, is the one you wanted on strike, and he came good. So, that's a step forward. They can sit down and go, right, that's how we do it.
Yep.
You don't want to leave 15 off the last over every game, but they got into position to win the game.
But they did it.
And they did it, correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. Let's see how they go.